Hey guys, I just wanted to take a brief second to reteach or to do a quick reteach video about exponents and what we can do when we have problems like these three examples that we have below. I promise this won't take too long, so hopefully it will be helpful. So we look at this first problem. We have 3x squared y to the fifth times negative 6x cubed y to the fourth. When we multiply, we are going to add our exponents. When we multiply, we are going to add the exponents. So we go ahead and take our two numbers, 3 and negative 6, and we're going to multiply those just like we normally would, which would be a negative 18. I have x squared, x to the third. I'm going to add my 2, and I'm going to add my 3, and 2 plus 3 is 5, so I get x to the fifth. Same thing with my y's. I have y to the fifth and y to the fourth, and I'm going to add those, and I get y to the ninth. So my final answer would be negative 18, x to the fifth, y to the ninth. If I look at example 2 down here, this time my problem shows division. So when I multiplied, I needed to add. Well, when I do the opposite of multiplying, which is divide, I need to do the opposite of addition, which is subtraction. So when I look at these two numbers, I'm still going to divide my numbers. 48 divided by negative 24 is a negative 2. I'm going to go and draw my fraction line because I know my answer is going to need to be in fraction form. Look at my exponents. I have 8 on top, 3 on bottom. Well, if I subtract that, I get 5. And remember, we always put the answer wherever we had the bigger exponent to begin with. So 8 was bigger than 3, which means I'm going to have x to the fifth on top. Now my y's, I have 3 on top, 5 on bottom, and I want to subtract the way that makes the most sense. So I'm going to do 5 minus 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. That the bigger exponent was on the bottom, so my answer is going to go on the bottom. So I have y squared in the denominator. My last problem, this is a little more complicated, and there's actually two ways that you can do this. The first way, we have 5x squared, y to the ninth, and all of that is squared. So the first way is, if you'll remember from what we talked about in class today, there's an imaginary 1 right here. That's the exponent in front of this 5. And I can distribute this 2 to all of these exponents here, which means I'm going to multiply it. So really my problem becomes 5 to the 1 times 2, which is 2, and x to the 2 times 2, which is 4, and y to the 9 times 2, which is 18, and 5 squared, or 5 to the second, is really 25. So I get 25, x to the fourth, y to the 18th. All right, the second way you can do this problem is you could, if you wanted to, write this out 2 times. Because this squared out here means that I'm multiplying it times itself twice. So I could do 5x squared, y to the ninth, times 5x squared, y to the ninth. And if you do that, it's the same thing. 5 times 5 is 25. When I multiply, I add my exponents. So x squared times x squared is x to the fourth. And y to the 9 times y to the ninth is y to the 18th. So either way, you end up with the same answer. All right, hope that helps. Have a good day.